Hi, my name is Rafael Edesma, and today for my persuasive presentation, I'm going to be talking about why I believe Quick Trip should give their employees breaks. I've been working at Quick Trip for a little over a year and a half now, and something that a lot of people are surprised to learn about when I tell them about my experience working at Quick Trip is that we don't get breaks. On top of that, another little interesting fact is that the register does not tell us how much change to give back to the customer. They taught us a little strategy, and also if you're in the middle of a transaction and if they're like, oh, I have a quarter, at first I was really overwhelming, but eventually you get the hang of it. But that's besides the point. Main thing is they don't give us breaks, and I feel like there's certain situations and problems that come up from this, and I feel like if we were given breaks, that they could be resolved. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing, major one, is less stress on workers. Working at Quick Trip, as I just mentioned, can be pretty stressful. For me, I work in the morning, and because of that, I have to go in 6 a.m. My most common time is going in at 5:30 a.m. Now, for everyone outside of work, they have different situations that could impact them. For me personally, I'm trying to put on some weight, and so because of that, breakfast is a big priority for me. Now, I always try to cook everything the morning of and then get everything ready. And so because of that, I have to wake up an hour and 45 minutes before my scheduled time to go into work. On top of that, because my store is actually 20 minutes away from where I live, so 5:30 I have to be up by 3:45, and also going into work that early and kind of tired. Sometimes right off the bat you have to deal with arrogant customers. You might just have to deal with arrogant coworkers, sadly. And on top of all that, I feel like if we just had a 15, not even a 30-minute break, just a 15-minute break to just, regain ourselves, and I wouldn't have much times where I would think to myself, I should just quit without putting in my 2 weeks, which has happened a good amount of times. On top of this, too much stress on workers, I actually have a coworker, her name is Michaela, that one time she got so stressed out that she couldn't walk. She was at the register, and I don't know if she just slowly started to lose her feeling to walk. Like, I noticed she was kind of getting wobbly up there, and eventually she had to, they literally grabbed a footstool for her to sit on and continue to work. They didn't even take her off the register. So yeah, that's just like, we should be given breaks for, like, just seeing something like that. You would think to yourself, they should give her a break, but they didn't. So, nextly, less workers would quit. On top of the morning shift being pretty stressful, the afternoon shift can be pretty stressful as well, especially if you're in the kitchen. Now, the kitchen has a lot of responsibilities with getting stuff ready for the day and for the next day after that. On top of that, maybe you're, a good amount of the times, coworkers from the day before didn't do everything that they were supposed to, and so the people the next day have to pick up on that, and it can have a pretty big negative impact on their mental state. And we have actually had a good amount of people quit on the afternoon shift team to go work at other places that might even pay more, such as Amazon, and actually give them breaks, such as Amazon and Target. And so I'm certain that if we were to actually get breaks, that it would result in less people wanting to quit to go work for other companies. Next, could result in more people actually wanting to work for Quick Trip. Getting a break while you're at work is just a basic necessity in just about every job you can think of. That I feel like when newcomers come in and they're, slammed with all this information of, like, you have to get your kitchen license, you have to take a test for it, you have to learn how to calculate the change without it telling you. On top of that, working in stressful, stores, going through training, if in the back of your head, they're probably always thinking, oh, I'm not going to get a break from all of this. Now, however, some stores, they do have kind of a slow period. It is likely that your manager will be fine with you getting something to eat really quick, regain yourself. But then if it gets busy, like out of nowhere, which happens very, very often, they expect you to just drop everything and get right back to work. Another problem that I see, however, is that we have a lot of employees who take smoke breaks, which for whatever reason, from what I've seen, is much more accepted than just regular breaks to eat something. And obviously that is really unfair. I just feel like if we got actual 15-minute breaks, it could result in less arguments. And like I said, more people are actually willing to work for the company knowing that they'll actually get a break from all the stress and arrogant customers and maybe even coworkers and managers. Lastly, aside from the clerks, now the more upper people, it would save the company more money. To put some things into perspective as to how much money QuickTrip has, they have enough money to help out their employees with tuition reimbursement. We also get small bonuses every now and then. Every 2 weeks or so, some small $50 to $100 bonuses, which is actually pretty helpful. On top of that, earlier, I want to say 2 months ago, we got a discretionary bonus, which is dependent upon how many hours you worked. For me, I got an extra $500 to $600 in my paycheck, which was pretty darn good. Now, if on top of that, you give employees breaks, small 15-minute breaks. Obviously, for just one employee, this won't count for much, but for all employees across the board, you're going to save a crazy amount of money, which can lead to innovations in stores that are already open, or you can possibly expand into other states. I just feel like if we just start off by doing something small, just breaks for each employee, it could start sort of a butterfly effect and lead to bigger and better things, not just for the clerks or for the managers in those stores, but for the franchise as a whole. So now, that was my whole presentation. Hopefully I've been able to convince my managers, my supervisors, and most importantly the CEO as to why we should have breaks. And so, yeah, I'll see you next time whenever you decide to go into a QuickTrip and get some pizza and get some gas. Thank you.